ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Details Podcast. I am so excited for you to meet our special guest today. It is Madi McCall Dunbar. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. So I always start the podcast the same way, and I want to introduce people to you and how we met because I think the personal story is always really great to get a good connection. So I'll just start off by in what was it, 2021 or 2022 when we met each other?
It was right after I got married because my hair was blonde. That's how I remember it.
Yes, and I had just had Wesley. Well, I hadn't just had him, but I think it was April of 21 because my son wasn't one yet. And it was the first time I ever left him was to go to Rural Rooted. So we met in Colorado, everyone, at something called Rural Rooted, which Natalie Kovarik put on a weekend like mastermind class or like crash course on Instagram marketing and through like the Susie School curriculum. And it was incredible. This amazing group of women from all over the country came. Maddie came from Texas. I came from Nebraska, and we met in Colorado.
That's so crazy to think that that was only 4 years ago, but it feels like a whole lifetime.
Literally, we've both changed so much. So many girls from our group have changed so much, grown, are doing different things, have gone down different avenues, expanded. It's wild what happens in 4 years, actually.
Absolutely.
And you're coming to us live today as a pregnant mama.
Yeah, it's my first baby. It feels so weird. If I cry on this, I'm so sorry. I've been crying literally every commercial, um, just every TV show. I've just been crying. So
It's totally fine.
excuse in advance, everyone.
It is okay to cry. And when you are pregnant, you have so many extra hormones. And there's another rush of hormones after you have the baby. If you haven't looked into the fourth trimester, I think that's a really important one to look into because not many people talk about it. There's actually a book that I'm obsessed with that I will send you a link, Maddie, because I don't know if you're a reader. I'm not like, I don't enjoy reading, but I enjoy like learning. And for me, pregnancy was like a huge learning curve, and I didn't have like a mom or an older sister or someone that I could really ask these things to. So I went to this book. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Oh,
I'm all for it. I feel so bad for my doctor. She's been really cool about it, but I I'm like so I'm the my husband's the youngest of four, and
okay.
I have three older sister-in-laws who have kids, and then most of my friends have kids. And so I've watched and listened and learned for like 10 years. And every time she says something in the doctor's office, I'm like, oh yeah, that's called whatever. And she goes, yeah, how do you know that? And I was like, I'm a pro.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
No.
I love that.
And then obviously like deep diving like Instagram and TikTok and Google and like I feel like my first 13 weeks were just like Google is so and so like normal during pregnancy, like every 5 minutes.
Totally, totally. And that is good to do, but I also feel like for me, Google can always scare me because it's like so many symptoms can be so many things. This book is written by Alexandra Sachs. She's an MD, but it's called What No One Tells You, A Guide to Your, hold on. It's only giving me half the title. Well, A Guide to Your Emotions from Pregnancy to Motherhood. And what I liked about it was, like I said, it goes through the fourth trimester as well, which I don't think for me, no one really talked about pre-pregnancy, like when I was pregnant, but like so many of my friends talked about it after
Yeah.
I had my son. And I was like, oh, okay. So all this is normal, but I didn't know anything about it. No one mentioned it until after. So I felt like that was a really good resource.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a read. I think that a lot of women don't want to scare the person that's pregnant, like because you don't like everyone's postpartum journey is different from what I've heard, and you might not experience that. So I don't think that they want to put it in your head that
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So but I'm lucky enough to have very honest friends who were like, "Yeah, I was bonkers for like 3 weeks after." So And I know
Yeah. And I mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, postpartum depression aside, like there is a change in hormones. Like that's just scientific. That doesn't mean bad things. That just means like something to be aware of, you know? Like I just wasn't expecting that. I thought like, oh, after you give birth, like your hormones will like go back to homeostasis. But that's not the case. And I feel like one of the best pieces of advice that I got was like, you know, every I think woman has a hope for their birth plan or how they think it will go. But for me, like the best piece of advice I got was just surrendering it to the Lord and trusting like the professionals around you and whatever route happens is, you know, that is the safest for you and baby. Like just be thankful for that at the end of the day, because I feel like so many of us women can get like, this is my birth plan. This is exactly how I want it to go. But instead, just like going with the flow and doing what is best in the moment. Like, because mine went wildly different than I thought it was going to go, but it all ended up good. It all ended up fine. And
That's so crazy.
baby's healthy.
I was just talking to Ken's Nana the other day, and I was just like, I feel like this generation, there's so much pressure. Like everyone's like, um, oh, and I'll skip over this real fast. So you don't have to talk about it. But like,
It's okay.
are you going to vaccinate? Are you not going to vaccinate? Are you going to do a birth home, or a birth, a home birth, or a hospital birth? Like, there's so many options, which
Yeah.
I feel like is amazing. I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, it's like I am the type of person that I am very organized, but I don't have a plan most of the time, and that's just kind of how I've always operated. Like, I have a loose plan, but I'm very open minded and I have to be that way in everything I do uh,
Mhm.
in my life, honestly. So I, when people ask me that, I'm like, no, not really. Like, I know that I don't want this or I do want that, but that's pretty much it. And I feel good about everything else. And they're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Way to go though. Like you're relaxed, you're confident, you're going to roll with what happens and you're just like taking it moment by moment, which is how it should be, honestly. That's the least stressful way to approach it.
Yeah, I almost feel too relaxed. Like the other day I woke up and I was like, maybe I should like really start thinking.
No. Too relaxed is not a thing. Don't let society think that you need to be like chronic anxiety all the time. Okay, but I really want to know because I know a lot of people follow you on Instagram. Maybe some people who are listening to this for the first time, it's their first time meeting you. They might not know your pregnancy journey or your story, but I would love to know how you told your husband you were pregnant because I always feel like that's a really sweet moment.
Yes. So my whole journey of finding out I was pregnant was very emotional.
Mhm.
I had happened to be in my hometown in New Mexico taking care of my mom, who was very, very sick. And that was like a hard thing in itself. But about 2 months before that, Kent and I had decided that we were both ready and that we wanted to try. And we had only seen each other maybe like 2 weeks out of 2 months from November to January. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because you were just so busy working
Yeah, because I was
and
in FR for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then I went straight to New Mexico and I was there for a month. And he came like every now and then he came for like a weekend, but really like it was hardly at all. And my body was under so much stress emotionally and physically that it wasn't even on my radar anymore. Like I was just like, there's no way. I honestly wasn't even thinking about it.
yeah.
And so I was like laying there one night and I was just with my dad and we had just put my mom in an assisted living facility.
Mm.
And it was like 6:30 or 7. And I all of a sudden felt really nauseous and really tired. And I don't get nauseous. Like I am not a nauseous person. I don't throw up. Like it's just not what I do. And so my dad was like, you're like, go to bed. And I said, yeah, I'm probably just overwhelmed, just tired.
Understandable.
And so that night I had a dream, and I had a dream that like my hands were in front of me. All I could see were the palms of my hands. And someone just laid this baby in my hands, and it was a little girl, and she had dark curly hair, green eyes. And then I woke up and I was like, that's really weird. So I looked at my app because we had been trying, and I was like, well, I'm supposed to start tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and take a test today. And then I was pregnant.
Wait, what kind of test did you take? Was it like the clear blue? Was it the little paper strip with the pink lines? Like how dark was it? All the things.
I just did the first response, like the two pink lines. Like I didn't do the digital ones.
Yeah, because you're still fairly early at that point if your period was going to start the next day, right?
Yeah. And so I was like, I'll just take one. And then I took it and I was so ironic. Gosh, this is when I talked about crying. Uh,
Yeah.
um, I just think that life is like really serendipitous. And I so happen to be taking this test in my childhood bathroom, like by myself in my parents' home, like where I spent my whole life. My parents never moved. So, like, I was just by myself and I took this test not expecting it to be positive because I'd taken a few before and it was. And I sat there and I was like, no way, like, no way. And so I had bought the 3-pack. So I took another one and it was positive again. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's so chill. Like I was telling you, like my personality is so casual. I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow and see if I start, because I haven't even,
Wait, so you didn't believe the test?
no, like I hadn't missed my period yet.
Okay.
And so the next day I waited and I took another one and it was positive.
Yeah, because it's measuring hormones.
Hmm. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm pregnant. And honestly, all I could think about, like, I was excited, but all I could think about was, oh crap, like, I have so much going on. Like, not negatively, but just, how, I don't know, like, woman, like, how do I go and tell my family this when we're like facing this huge, like, emotional
Mm,
situation? Because my
yeah.
brother had just flown in from Africa. He was deployed over there,
Whoa.
flew him back in because my mom was really sick.
Oh.
But it actually ended up being really beautiful because it was the first time that us four had been alone together and probably because he's married and I'm married. And it was the first time that, and they live in Colorado and I live in Texas. And so we just don't get together very often.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that we were alone together probably in 15 years. And so I got to tell my mom and my family like all at the same time. And then like a few weeks later, she passed away. So it was really special. But the heart of it, back to your initial question.
Yeah, I'm so sorry though. That's such an emotional time.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful and tragic all at the same time. Like that's the only way I can put it. So,
Yeah.
but I Kit wasn't with me, and I was like, I can't just call him. I can't
Yeah.
like I can't text him. Like,
So you told your family before you told Kent?
yes, and
And you were like, don't tell Kent, you guys?
yes. Kit will never let me down on that one.
Oh.
He's like the 16th person to know. Like, no, you're
The 16th?
the fourth person to know.
I was like, holy smoke. Okay.
Anyway, so it just so happened that that Friday, him and I were going to be flying to Vegas for my 30th birthday, and he had got tickets to go see the Eagles, which is my favorite band.
Love the Eagles. I grew up on the Eagles. I have their record.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
But I had planned like where we were going to eat, where like all this stuff, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah. And he was probably expecting you to like have a couple drinks.
yes. And so I was like, well, I'll tell him in Vegas. But I had to have this whole plan because
Yeah.
I was like, it's my birthday, like he knows I'm under a lot of stress. Like we're in Vegas. He's gonna like be like, let's go to the bar, We love to have a good cocktail. And
Wait, what's your go-to cocktail? Just curious.
ooh, go to if I'm like I'm a atmosphere drinker. So it
Okay.
depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm at the beach, I'm gonna get like a Corona or like a margarita.
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
I'm, like in like a nice place, I'll get a gin martini or like a glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay, nice.
I can have everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. When I used to drink, French 75 was my favorite, but I've been like on a non-alcohol journey for I think like a year now, but that's a whole different story. But I always love to know what people's like drink of choices. Now my drink of choice is like green juice.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been on a non-alcohol journey for 5 months now. I've been trying to find all of the things. But yeah, so I had to have this whole plan to where like, of course we get there. The hotel doesn't let us check in early. So he's like, well, let's just go sit and have a drink and wait.
Mm.
So it was like, oh man. And so I sat down and I was like, I'm just gonna get a Red Bull. And
Okay.
I said, I had a beer at the airport,
Oh, you lied.
I lied. I was like, I had a beer at the airport and, we have a really long night and weekend and I just, want to like get my energy up. And
Yeah.
perfect lie. Cause he was like,
He bought it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was texting my friend Jenna at the time and she was like, she texted me and she said, have you told Kent yet?
Oh, she knew.
She knew. And because we'll talk about this later, but she had
Okay.
texted me that day and asked me to be her tour manager. And so I had also told her I was pregnant at the same time. And so she knew we were going on the trip and she Venmoed me money to like go out and get a drink. And then she said, have you told Kent yet? Well, in that moment, he saw Jenna text me and he like picked up my phone and he was like, what are y'all talking about? Like super innocent. And I grabbed my phone and I was like, don't read my text messages. Again, we're not like that.
Oh my goodness sakes.
He was like, why are you being so weird?
Yeah, something's up. He knew
I
something was up.
great, we're gonna get in a fight. Like he's gonna
No.
hiding something. But it was fine. And
Okay.
went up to the room, finally checked in, and I know my husband. I was like, who's gonna go to the bathroom? Like first thing.
Okay.
And he did.
Yeah.
So I had a little box and it had the test in it and it said open me. And I put it on the bed. And then when I heard him coming out, I went in, like taking my makeup, like I was gonna get ready, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
come out and opened it and all the things. So
And you recorded it, which was so cute.
record it. And he said a very bad word on the recording. I was like, oh man, like I have to edit this, but I just bleeped it. So
Yeah, yeah. So cute. And he was so excited. So then when you were down at the bar and he's like, wait, what do you need to tell me? How did you just like brush that off? And we're like, oh, we'll talk about it later.
I just said, like, you're so nosy. Like, you don't have to know everything about me. Like, I just kind of made it like a joke.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well played.
Together for 10 years, so I know him pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. My 9-year, I think my 9-year wedding anniversary is this year.
Oh, wow.
What is yours? When is yours?
We'll be married 5 years in September, which is also when I'm supposed to have our baby. So
Oh my gosh.
good for our month.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. September baby. That'll be so fun. Okay. Wow. That was a good story. Okay. So you told him he was so excited. And then how did the rest of the Vegas trip go? Like, what did you do? I know obviously the Eagles.
Yeah.
How was that?
And I was really frustrated because everywhere I had picked, like I'm a huge sushi fan and like oysters and stuff. And everywhere I'd made reservations, like you have to make reservations in Vegas.
Totally.
I couldn't eat anything that I had planned on or like drink anything. So it was fine. I was just really annoyed, to be honest. And I did have one glass of champagne. So everyone sued me. But I'm 30, I'm pregnant and my
Yeah.
baby's in the hot. Like, I just need this moment. So, um,
It's a tough life adjustment for sure. Like I remember we went on a family ski trip one time when I was pregnant. I've only been pregnant once, but I couldn't snow ski. I couldn't sushi. I couldn't have a wine. I couldn't even sit in the hot tub. Luckily I was working on designing a restaurant project. So I just like took the entire dining room table with all my code books and my computer. And I just like worked on designing this restaurant, but it was a super bummer. It is such a like shell shock kind of like, oh, I can't do all these things
that
anymore.
thing happened because we go on a family ski trip with Ken's family every February. And so that was a month later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't snowboard. I
Mhm.
couldn't like have family cocktails at night. I was the elevation made me sick.
Yeah.
So I was really tired and I couldn't get in the hot tub. Like
Yes.
this sucks. And we ended up leaving early.
Oh,
But I was glad. I was like, "I'm so bored," because everyone's
yeah.
gone all day.
On the mountain literally from 7 a.m. to probably 7 p.m., and you're just, like, staring at the wall.
Yeah.
It sucks. I actually did, like, there was a massage or a spa on the resort, and so I went to get a massage while I was pregnant, but they put this giant thing on the table, so you, like, stick your belly in it and, like, lay down, and then they gave me a massage, but it was uncomfortable, and then I don't know, like, my whole belly tightened up. It was weird. So then, like, when I got back to the, uh, whatever, ski and scout that we were staying in, everyone was like, "How was your massage?" And I was like, "Not good. I'm in so much pain." Like, I was just, like, my body, like, cramped. So then I literally was, like, in the fetal position on the couch just the rest of the night because I, like, couldn't I don't know, something about, like, pulling your knees to your it just, like, helped it, but yeah, I was, like, being on a ski trip while pregnant sucks. Probably, like, just as bad as being in Vegas while pregnant
Give me a
sucks.
beach family, please, because then I could have just laid there and
Yes.
you feel like you're doing something on the beach even though you're not.
Yes, literally we don't go every February, but we go every other year. We go snow skiing with my husband's family, and I'm like, "Hey, we've been together a while now. Do you think we could throw in one beach vacation? Like,
Oh,
who would it hurt? Who would it hurt?"
I've been begging. So it's my father-in-law's birthday every time we go, and that's what he likes to do. Yeah. And I told him this year, I said, there's gonna be a time where you can't ski. You know,
Ooh. Whoa, throwing out that.
yeah. So, that might be a good time for us to, start looking into going to the beach. But he hates sand. Like he's like a traditional old cowboy, like wears his jeans on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, covers himself whole because he doesn't want to get sunburnt. Like
Oh.
so one day we'll figure it out. One day.
One day you'll get to the beach. Maybe you and Kent just need to go to the beach.
Yeah. Because now I have to teach my kids how to snowboard next. So
Well, yeah, I haven't told you this, but this year in February, Wesley's 4. He's 4.5 right now, and his little cousin is 3. They're a year apart. So we're like, this is the perfect age to put them in ski school. But ski school is super expensive. So we did 1 day of ski school. I really wanted to do 2 days, but the price is like astronomical. So we're like, we'll do 1 day of ski school for him. We bought him, I think, 2 days of ski lift. And so him and his cousin did the ski school together. They were doing so good. They wanted to go on the mountain. We're like, okay, yay. Like they're happy. Cause with a toddler, they could be like, I'm over it. I'm cold. I want to go inside and have a snack. You just don't know like what a toddler's capacity is going to be or what they're going to be excited about or what they're just going to be over.
yeah.
So they were excited about it. And we're like, great. So my husband always just like skis blacks. And I always skis green. I always ski green. I didn't learn how to ski until I was 26, I think. So I just don't have the confidence. And I do feel confident on greens. That's where I enjoy myself. That's where I have fun. I push myself in so many areas of life. The mountain's not one of them. Um, and so we're like, oh, they enjoy it. Like, let's go up. So we got on like the big ski lift. We're going up the mountain. We're still going to like the like kiddie area of the green. And we got all the things like the backpack with the leash. And like first the hardest part is getting them on and off the ski lift.
Yeah. Oh, it's the hardest part for me. Like as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we did that. We were like, yay, we did it. We got on and off the ski lift. And so then we start going and it was cute because they had all these little like foam stuffed animal type things down like the kid mountain. So we're like, oh, let's go over there and high five the moose. And so he was excited. We were going, but it started with Wesley in between Ryan's legs. And he's like, kind of, you can't like ski to stop. So he's kind of piecing to go slow. Well, at one point, Wesley's ski got underneath Ryan's ski and he tried to pick him up because they were like going this way. And we were like, he thought they were going to run into the cousin. So he wanted to veer this way. And anyways, long story short, my husband got super injured. Luckily, my son didn't, but tore his ACL and then tore his PCL and his MCL off the bone. And had a complete knee reconstruction surgery. And he's still going to PT, like still wearing a full thigh to ankle brace, like is bad. So moral of the story is when you do teach your kid to snowboard, like pay the extra money for multiple days of snowboard or ski school because it's cheaper than medical bills.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm not my husband actually taught me how to snowboard, which was,
Nice.
he actually proposed to me there too. So,
Ah,
but
so sweet.
I spent many hours chugging Fireball and crying and telling my husband that I hated it because it was learning how to snowboard or ski as an adult is hard.
It is.
Uh,
I cried on the mountain too. I think most adult ladies, first time skiers, cry on the mountain. It's like a rite of passage.
and also, like, I love water sports. Like, I
Mhm.
love surfing, all the things. Because when you fall, you hit water. But when you fall when you're skiing, you hit ground and
Yeah.
or a tree. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
uh,
It's different.
in my brain, it's like this is not either going to end up with me falling or falling. You know.
Y- For sure. For sure. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thanks for sharing that.
Gosh,
Okay.
I can go
Let's
on
get in.
forever.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said I'm sorry. I can go on forever about.
No, you're good. I love it. I can too. Okay, so let's just circle back a little bit to Rural Rooted, where we met, and kind of our journeys from there. So I went to Rural Rooted because I own an interior design company and I wanted to learn how to better market our services. Why, like, what was your, how did you see Natalie? How did you hear about Rural Rooted? And then what was your like driving factor for why you wanted to go?
Oh gosh. So I said earlier that I'm not like a planner. But I always have like I have a direction. Like I always have. Like I'm gonna get here from point A to point B somehow.
Mhm.
And I had just got married, like we had talked about, and I where I live now and where I had just moved to, very rural.
Rural Texas.
Very rural, yes. And there's not a lot of jobs out here, not a lot of opportunity. It's just farming and ranching or owning a business in town or working for those people that own businesses in town. Very small town.
Yeah, not many options.
And as a person who I went to music school, like I graduated with a commercial music degree, I had big aspirations for myself.
That's so cool, by the way. I love that.
It shocks people, but I had all this like I don't know. I hate to like say that a boy ruined my life because he did. And I think when I tell this story, a lot of people are like, "Oh, so you chose a man over your life?" No, I just chose a different direction, you know. And I decided that I wasn't going to be that girl. Like I wasn't going to be the girl that got married and just gave up everything that she wanted to do. And
Mhm.
I had always loved social media and posting pictures. And I mean, when it first came out, I was in junior high. No, I was in a junior in high school when Instagram came out. And so obviously none of us really, except the smart ones, saw it as a business tool. It was just fun. Right. And so, but as I got more into it and before we got married, I was like, I need to find a way to live where we live and still like be myself, be creative and make money. Like
Yeah.
I need money. And I was like, okay, I can be an influencer. I don't know why. I was very confident about this at the time.
Love your confidence.
And so this was even before Real Rooted. I started just posting and I was like, I'm going to get into the Western world because that's the kind of life we're going to live. And we're going to be ranching. My husband's a cowboy. And, I'll just make it more. I don't know if you remember this, but it was Ranch Wife in Training. That was like my first.
I didn't know that. I didn't follow you pre Rural Rooted.
Oh,
The first thing I remember you of was Comfy Cowgirl.
okay. Yeah. So this was pre Comfy Cowgirl. I've had
Okay.
many personas. Um,
I love it.
it was like I made this whole thing of ranch wife in training, like a girl coming from the city and learning how to ranch and like
Love.
being married into it and all this stuff. But a lot of it was fashion forward, things
Yeah.
like that. And I started accumulating a following because I started following all these other girls and asking, they became my friends and then they'd share my stuff. I don't know if their OGs remember Hannah Ferguson. She was a Western fashion influencer and she shared one of my pictures. And then, like, Shaylee Ham and Marika Hunsucker, and all these girls started following me. And then all of a sudden, that was back in the day when everyone shared each other's stuff. And
Yeah.
a lot. There were
Hmm.
Hello Fridays and things like that. And
Yeah.
very different than it is now. And anyway, so I had already kind of accumulated somewhat of a following before Real Rooted. I think I was almost to 10,000 or something. And so that's how I met Natalie.
Okay. Nice.
And she called me personally and told me that she wanted me to go, and she's so excited. And that was the first time that we met in person, was me and Natalie too, was Real Rooted.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I think I and one other girl were the only ones there that were like influencers. Like that was our direct.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else had a business or was a speaker or was like trying to like direct sell their beef, or like they weren't just influencers.
Products or services selling for their own companies, not selling for other companies. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Exactly. So that was different because it challenged me to like really view myself as a business.
Mm-hmm.
And it like really challenged me into thinking like, do I really think I can do this? And I left like really believing I could, and turns out I could. So
Yeah. You totally can. You did.
I did. And so I put my heart and soul into it after that.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up at Real Rooted. It taught me a lot. It taught me to not do a lot. um, and so from there on, like I had actually started a job at the local newspaper in town, because people who can read and write and don't know technology and things like that in a small town in South Texas is really hard to find. And so
Yeah.
I was doing really well at that job, but I hated it.
Oh,
Like it was just, I didn't hate the job. It just wasn't fulfilling for me.
got it. Okay.
It wasn't my own thing. I was working for someone else, and I was good at it, but I
Mm.
just wake up every day and like hate going to work.
Yeah. It didn't light you on fire. You weren't passionate about it.
Yeah. And so at the same time, I was actually making more money influencing than I was at my full-time job, which is
And
crazy.
how many months into influencing were you, would you guess?
Mm, seriously, probably like a year.
Yeah. Legit.
Um, Yeah, probably a year, maybe less.
And were you approaching brands at that point, or were they only approaching you? Because I think that's like a big question people have about influencing in general.
Yeah, I think at first you definitely have to approach brands, but I would say that I've always done it in more of an organic way. So I don't, I would never like initially approach them just out of the blue. So
Yeah.
I would just, you know, I have this necklace from this turquoise company, and I wear it all the time. And so I would tag her in like every single picture.
Yeah.
Um, and then like, their strategy, like you post like, oh, so many girls are asking about this necklace, and there's like one girl that's asked about the
Yeah.
necklace.
I love it. I love the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and
Yeah.
eventually that does become true. But when
Yeah.
you're first starting out, it's like you have to fake it till you make it.
Oh, for sure. I think that applies to anywhere. And I also am a big believer of like, if you envision it, if you believe it, if you start living it, like it will happen.
Exactly. And so honestly, I think that's what I was doing. And I just would, this is just my example, like that person, that jewelry company owner would either get really sick of me tagging her and stuff, and finally be like, okay, like I'll talk to you. Or she would genuinely see that I wear her things and people are interested in it.
Yeah.
And so that's really how I started. I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest with you. That's kind of why I went to Real Rooted, was to just like price myself and figure out like how much I'm worth and what I should be charging brands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. More structured, figuring out your internal business processes, systems, things like that.
And honestly, just like a lot of influencing a lot of jobs in general, I think every job, it's just self-confidence. Like the more
Hmm.
confidence you have in yourself, the better you're going to do at it. And the more people believe in you, like, oh, this girl knows what she's doing, even though you have no idea what you're doing. So, yeah, that's how I got started with that. And it kind of just took off from there. I ended up quitting my full time job, um, and just focusing on that for a while. And then that led me in a lot of different directions. So,
Amazing. So let's pause for a second. So I know it led you to some amazing places, and that's what we really want to focus on later. But just for people who don't know, like when you were in the thick of your influencing days, like what was that like? Like what was a typical day? What were some of like your best experiences, like good moments you remember that you'll cherish forever? Like what was that time of your life like?
yeah, I think that a lot of it was learning that influencing is a full-time job.
Mhm.
And so, like, I would have to it's waking up and you have to be very scheduled, like very organized.
Like self-discipline for sure.
And you, like, speaking of, I have a deadline today on a thing for a company and I just remembered. So, um, so yes, you have to be very organized and scheduled. Like, even if you're not a massive influencer, um, you have deadlines. Like, that's especially now when influencing is such a big thing.
Mhm.
You are expected to post, or you're even expected to turn in a certain thing a week before for,
Yeah, for review, for sure.
and then if they don't like it, then you have to fix it and then turn it in again. It's like very, it's a full-time job. It's a real job. Like, people, a lot of people still don't believe that, which
Which is wild to me because I think influencing is the modern day salesperson. Like back in maybe the boomer generation, it was door to door salesman, and then it was more networking salesman, cold calls. And I think it's grown into the place where the online salesperson is an influencer, but for some reason, some older generations still have a hard time understanding the term influencer. And I honestly think we should just call it online salesperson. Like you are working for these companies, pitching and selling their products to strangers, or sometimes people you do know, like creating that community that trusts you, which I think was the biggest takeaway that I had from Rural Rooted was the know, like, trust structure, where the old structure of sales, when it was maybe door to door salesmen or cold calls, they were only pushing trust, like stats, numbers, figures. Like, we've been in business for 800 years. We've done $10 billion worth of sales and 8 trillion happy customers or whatever, like numbers, numbers, numbers. And now with the online salesperson or influencing, you guys already have created a community of like-minded individuals who know you, like you, understand where you are in the world, understand your life story. They know your likes, your dislikes, your quirks. If you're funny, they know where you like to shop. They know where you like to vacation. They oftentimes know a little bit about your family life. Like they have that personal connection. So then when you do go to sell something, it doesn't feel pushy. It almost feels like, hey, I'm sharing this insider information. Like when your friend asks, "Oh, I like your top. Where'd you get that?" It's like, "Oh, I got it from here," but you make money off of it. So it's actually really brilliant.
yeah, and a lot of that time initially was spent figuring out how I stood out to brands. It was a lot
Yeah.
like branding myself and sitting at night and like brainstorming content ideas. Like, how am I gonna? What reel am I gonna do tomorrow? Like, is it gonna be like 3 ways to wear this top, or is it going to be a ranching video of me and my husband? Or I had to plan those things around his work days. And, it's just a lot of figuring things out to where online it flows really well. But for you, it was like, this was very strategic, you know,
Yeah.
and, that's kind of how I came up with Comfy Cowgirl because, or Comfy Cowgal. That's, I made it really hard and made it Comfy Cowgal. But,
Oh, nice.
uh, I was sick and tired of feeling like I had to get super dressed up and like super put together because I was so frustrated every night. I was like, I don't want to get ready tomorrow. Like, I really don't want to get ready tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just want to wear this. And then I had it in my head and I was like, why can't I just wear that? because that's
Mhm.
what I wear. And, that's what I wear out and that's what I get complimented on. So I just made it my entire personality. And
Love it.
I
So authentic.
and I think that that's the key. Like, you find something that you already get complimented on, you already get asked about, and like, how do you make casual look so put together? Well, it's easy. Watch this. Like, and it's like something that you comes naturally. And I think that's where your gifts really shine, is where something that comes naturally to you and you're not really thinking about it. It's not work. It's just like, oh, yeah, like simple. I'll show you how to do this. And so I've evolved a lot, I think, but that was just like the initial start was okay, yeah, like people can resonate with Comfy Cowgirl, and then people started tagging me in all their stuff because I feel like it was something that was easy, that made people feel like they didn't have to be this like super glammed up, red lips, tons of jewelry Western girl.
Yeah.
And you also didn't have to just wear like cowboy boots and jeans and a pearl stack. Like, it was a good in between, I think. And so it was super relatable. And I think like that was my ticket to like really growing myself, and really like even now, like my style's definitely elevated. Um, not right now, my style is very like, what am I gonna wear today? Because nothing fits. But
'Cause you're pregnant. Yeah.
but it it grew. It's something that was able to grow with me, you know?
But yeah, you said like, it's you're just kind of showing people what you're doing, so it's not like a ton of work. But I do want to give you props because there is so many skills that you have to have. It's like video editing, whether you're using the InShot app or if you're doing CapCut or if you're editing in Instagram, and then also knowing things about the algorithm, time of day, posting hashtags, length of reels or carousels, or, you know, who to tag, when to tag, how to word it. Like, you are a marketing expert if you're doing these things, and the world of online social media is always changing. Like 2 days are never the same. So you're also constantly evolving, constantly learning to keep up with this machine, to keep your skills at top notch. And I don't think that should be overlooked. Like, how many apps do you have right now that you use for social media? Because I have so many and I'm sure you have more.
Honestly, I might shock you. I only use CapCut
Okay.
for my videos. I use Tezza for my um like photo editing, like colors.
Oh, okay.
And then
I
that
haven't heard of Tezza.
oh dude, I'm a Tezza OG fan. I have her book on how to influence people, like how to this was whenever like having the perfect professional photo was like
Mm.
everything in influencing.
Gotcha.
Before videos, before it was just like a mirror pic that was cool. That you used to, just for everyone listening that doesn't know this, you used to have to literally have a full blown photo shoot done with like, and it was super creative. Like, it might be a piece of jewelry, but you had disco balls and like, it was a lot.
It's the whole production.
But Tezza, her name's Tezza Barton,
Yeah.
is like incredible at this. So her and her husband are a team. She's like the most creative person I've ever seen in my life. And she was like OG at this. She has like over 1 million followers.
Wow. I've never heard of her. I'll have to look into this.
She has an app, and that's where I do all of like my editing on my photos and stuff like that. Um and she had a book that came out like how to like do the perfect feed, like how to like strategically like place your
Wait, so do you edit every photo that you put on Instagram?
it depends. Like, my photos have become way more raw.
Okay.
Um, if I do, it's like very little. It used to be quite a bit.
Yeah.
Feel like
All of my photos are raw. The only thing I edit are like reels, videos, like, just cutting and clipping and splicing.
I see editing kind of like makeup. Like, it should enhance what's already there and still make it look natural.
That makes sense because I'm photographing spaces that I've spent years on making perfect, and I don't want a filter or any color to change or any texture or contrast to be changed because I already did that in real life. So I don't want to post production it. Where I get when if you're not doing interiors, it could be a totally different
Mhm.
thought
It just
process.
makes it look more thoughtful. That's the way I would put it. Like, you
Nice.
actually didn't just get on your phone and post a picture,
Got it. Got
which
it.
is probably acceptable nowadays, but, um, also, if you like your feed to, like, flow a little bit and kinda all look the same, that's kinda how I can't.
Nice. So CapCut, Tezza, those are your two apps.
They're probably my let me make sure. CapCut,
The top two.
Tezza, um, that's pretty much it. I'll use PixArt for collages. Um,
Oh, okay.
that's very rare.
Okay, I have these, but I don't use them all. Canva, which I have Photoshop on my computer, so like I don't even know why I pay for Canva. Unfold, Planoly, Inspire Me, InShot, WordSwag, Lightroom, Scroll, CapCut, Photo Editor, Retouch, and Preview. I don't use all of those. I use InShot for like all of my videos. I only use CapCut like once in a year if there's some like GIF audio like person that I need on it. WordSwag I don't use. I use Unfold sometimes, like,
I
but I use that more for actually YouTube. If I'm like, if I record content in the vertical
Mhm.
and I'm doing a horizontal YouTube video, they have some like layouts where I can put it vertically in there. Canva, the only thing I've been using it for is just like to drop in my YouTube like covers onto like a computer like that looks like that.
It's
That's
like
all.
it's like that meme, have you seen it? It's like, "No, you can't watch this movie on the 13 streaming services that you have, but you can do it for $2.99 if you download this one." I have an app for, like, a specific thing for each thing I do. Like, you
Yes.
were saying that, I was like, I do have Scroll.
Okay.
I wanna post more than one photo, and there's, like, horizontal photos that I like to use, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's very few and far in between. Uh,
Yeah.
I stopped InShot and CapCut, I feel like are the same. Like, but I like CapCut better.
Okay, see, I haven't spent enough time in CapCut, and I don't feel like I can't do any of the things that I do in InShot, and I think it's just because I haven't taken the time to learn it.
I used to be an InShot girl. Oh,
Yeah, I think I got InShot from you. I was like, "What are you using to edit your videos?" And you're like, "InShot." So then I learned it, and now I'm like, "I don't wanna learn CapCut."
well, yeah, it's really not that hard. And I started using CapCut because they are directly linked with TikTok. And so when I started doing TikToks a lot, it was easier to use CapCut.
Are you still on TikTok?
It depends. I
Okay,
have wild hair and do like I'll do it for like a week.
got it.
I'm like, oh, I'm so sick of doing two things, and
Yeah, I don't have TikTok on my phone. I have a girl who used to recycle my reels and put them on TikTok, but she hasn't in, like, months, so my TikTok is, like, old and not really updated. I try sometimes to recycle my content onto YouTube Shorts, but who has the time to do multiple apps, you know?
the thing with TikTok for me is like in order to grow, you have to be very consistent, which you need to be consistent on every app if you're gonna grow. But on
Right.
TikTok, it's like a whole other level. It's like 3 times a day.
Sick.
Yeah. And I just and it should be easy, right? Like, because TikTok is more everyday
Got it.
kind of stuff, but I just don't have the time or capacity to like set up my phone to like video me doing something for an hour to condense it to 5 seconds. Like,
Same.
so I don't know, maybe one day. I keep saying that. It's how long is TikTok? But 5 years. But
Yeah.
5 years, I've been like, one day, one day.
That's so funny. But okay, so that's kind of the Instagram journey. And I know you're very humble and kind and you won't do a lot of name dropping, but you've worked with some incredible and big brands like Justin's Boots. And then, like you said, your influencing has taken you places like to work with Jenna. And that taps into your creative and musical background. Talk to us a little bit about how you used influencing as like a springboard into all these other areas of your life.
Yeah. So for a long time, I felt I was doing influencing full time and I just was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like
Mhm.
I was getting overwhelmed with DMs and I get really like I think it's weird to call yourself humble, but it was weird to me that girls were like seeking me for advice. Like not weird, but just overwhelming. Like it felt like a lot of pressure. Um, I didn't want to be mean to them or ignore them, but I didn't have the capacity to keep up with every single one of them. Like I'd be terrible at being super famous. um,
I doubt that, but
but
that's very kind of you.
when people have PR, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, like someone to handle that for them.
You can only do so much. You only have so much bandwidth in each
Hmm.
day.
And yeah. And so anyway, I through Instagram, I had met like very incredible people. I'd met Natalie and I ended up meeting, well, this girl followed me on Instagram and her name was Jenna Paulette. And she had a blue check mark by her name. And I like got on and she's this country music singer. But she's also a cowgirl, rancher, all the things. And she started liking all my stuff. And so I started liking her stuff, you know, like a true online bestie relationship. And then
Yeah.
started slowly like replying to each other's stories. And then that turned into messaging. And you know how it goes. We'd be at a few events together and see each other and talk or sit by each other. But we didn't really truly know each other. And I was like, I don't know why this girl is following me, to be honest. Um, imposter syndrome on my behalf. But anyway, so it was actually the year that we went back. We went to Nashville for the Real Rooted reunion.
Reunion.
Was 2022? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a year after our group. Oh, that was so much fun. I wish we would do another reunion.
But I flew in super early that day and I had like 5 hours to spare. And so I had text messaged Jenna. I didn't even have her number. I had messaged her on Instagram and was like, hey, I'm going to be in Nashville. Do you want to grab lunch? Like, I have a ton of time to spare.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And we go to this taco place. We ended up sitting there for 5 hours just because I talked to her about my music background and she talked to me about her ranching background. Like we were kind of in reverse at the time. Like I was being thrown into this ranch wife role and she was, you know, living in Nashville doing the music thing, but missing ranch life. And so we and I was missing music and like the industry. And so we connected on that. And then I didn't know this at the time, but she was going through a lot in her relationship beforehand. And that was coming to an end, but she hadn't told anyone. Like we weren't friend that close, right? And so, and I was miserable. Like I had just quit my job at the paper. And I had no idea what I was gonna do. Like I had no money. Like honestly, I probably could not have afforded to be in Nashville when I was there for the reunion, but I was there.
Yeah.
And anyway, she was like, no, I'm starting to do all this stuff for my first album. And I did all the promos and pictures and like videos for that. Would you want to come and be my like creative assistant and just, you know, help? Because it'd be really nice to have someone there that knows not only the music side, but the ranching side and just like keep me on course and true to myself and the brand, but also be able to get along with, you know, industry people are different. Like you have hair and makeup, you have film, you have photographers, and they don't really understand. Like you want the artists to be able to stay authentic. And so that's good. She hired me for. I didn't have a true position.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I was like, sure. So I came home and told Kent, and he was like, who is this? And what are you doing? And I was like, I don't really know her, but you know, I listen to this stuff and I really like her stuff, her music. I really like her, and I just have this weird like belief, and I don't know, it feels right. So I went on this week-long trip with Jenna and a photographer and a hair and makeup girl. None of us had met. None of us knew each other. None of us had dirt together. And we spent an entire week together in Big Bend and the White Sands, New Mexico, just filming and dressing Jenna and getting her ready and then that just like blossomed. So we still to this day, so that was almost 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've worked with her for the CMT Awards, ACMs. I've worked with her on both of her albums, gone to the Grand Ole Opry with her. Like, it's just become such a beautiful relationship and job.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Instagram. Like,
That's incredible.
literally just we met on Instagram and she saw what I could do and
Hmm.
creative side, but also my life. And it was basically like a resume for her to be like, I like this girl.
Yeah.
I think that we would work well together. And so it was a very authentic God thing.
Yeah.
Because,
And how incredible that Instagram is around to give people that opportunity because 30 years ago, like this story wouldn't have been written. And the internet, Instagram connects us to all these like minded creatives and gives us opportunities we would have never had. Like, I know that's true for my story with interior design for certain. And so I love that you just like shared how that all connected.
yeah, and it, it was a really cool way. It was like a God thing because for sure, because I was feeling super disconnected from my music background and
Yeah.
my creative side. I felt very lonely. Like again, I live in the middle of nowhere and I wasn't doing anything really. And um, I, it's really nice. And just even over the years, she just had a baby girl last year
Yeah.
and I'm having one this year. Not a girl.
Yeah.
I know what it is. That was
Yeah. I was going to say, you don't know the gender, right?
yeah, that was not a spoiler.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
A baby. I'm having a baby this
Yeah. You're having a baby. We're setting that record straight.
yes. But we've been able to grow together. She got married, she met her husband like in these last 3 years,
Mhm.
got pregnant, had a baby, and we did all this while putting out her second album.
Wow.
And then the day, like I said earlier, the day I found out she asked me to be her tour manager was the day I told her I was pregnant. So it was just like our lives are just intertwined. And
Yeah.
we're like the most our husbands are friends
Oh,
and like it's just super cute. And so
it's like meant to be.
yeah, and we keep each other grounded. Like
Mm.
I think the most beautiful thing is she is my boss.
Yeah.
We do work together, but she's my best friend too. And so
Yeah.
like we'll be talking about business in a text and then send each other an outfit and be like, do you think this is cute or is it stupid?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That's so cool. How does that work from like a business standpoint? Do you have your own LLC? Do you send her a contract to sign? Are you a 1099? Are you a W-2 employee? Like, what's the legality of that?
so right now I'm a W-9. Technically I'm contracted. Um, just
Uh,
because the music industry is so basically like it's like what Jenna makes is if I was on salary, right? Whatever Jenna made is what I would have like a set amount based on that. But since she's more still like I don't want to say up and coming because she's past that, but it's not regular.
yeah.
I just charge a set fee and for a day and then
You have like an hourly rate or a day rate. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
I think it's different for everyone. That's just what has worked for us.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Because like on the I am tour manager, but like I do her day to day stuff. Like
Hmm.
she has a line with Boot Barn and Amy Cattleman. And I do all her influencer marketing, which is life come full circle. So I like send out these PR things to influencers and um stuff like that. So
Oh my gosh. Did you write your own job description or did she come with you and she's like, I need help with these 12 things? Or how did, like, I'm sure that was the whole process, figuring out how you got to like, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing?
it's been interesting because like you asked like how does being friends in a business standpoint work?
Yep.
We've only had one argument, like big argument, and
Okay.
I think that was like a moment where we were trying. It was last year, and she was in this midst of really growing. She was
Mm,
management. She was signing to a label. Like things were just getting a lot more professional. It wasn't just like Jenna and me and a photographer. You know what I mean? It was like, holy crap, like
You're big time.
this is big time. Uh,
Yeah.
this is like national execs that worked with George Strait, and like we
Mhm.
need to figure this out.
Yeah, schedules, time management, legality, like all those things.
Yeah, and so it we had to just sit down and have a talk of like we are friends. But like I know she was like, I never want to make you feel like you're just my assistant or
Mm.
like you're just there to like I don't know, like you are my best friend and you are someone I trust full-heartedly. Um, but I like also expect you to do your job, like fair, you know?
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Um, so it because it was weird, like asking her how much is this okay for me to charge for this? Or, I'm just like, she doesn't care about talking money, but I get really
Yeah.
awkward about it.
Yeah. I'm sure it correlates to like the job description. So did you write your own job description, your own roles, your responsibilities, your timelines, your deliverables, or is that like a week to week thing? Or did she send you like, hey, this is like the contract of what I need help with. These would be your roles and responsibilities. Cause like you said, like you need to do your job. Is that something where it's like well written and well outlined and you know what your job is? Or is it still like ambiguous, like kind of whatever you need help with that day? Or how does that
It's getting
look?
it's evolving. It's getting
Yeah.
better. In the beginning, it was kind of like, what am I doing? Like even people would come and be like, what do you do? And that like for example, she had her new management out from Nashville with us in Vegas for NFR this year. They'd never met me before and they'd only heard about me. And he sat me down. We were just having a beer together and he was he's like this older guy, not older, but been around in Nashville for a long time. Not intimidating at all. He was like, I'll be honest with you, we didn't really know what you did. Like Jenna explained and it didn't really make sense. And he was like, but now I get it. You do everything. And I was like, literally, like, I don't want to like give myself too much credit, but for a long time it was kind of just like whatever Jenna needed me to be, like that's what I was. So
like personal assistant, like literally whatever someone needs, you do.
if I was styling clothes for her, we'd actually just got done styling a shoot for a magazine last month.
So fun.
If I was creative director on a photo shoot with her, it's always
Yeah.
like with her.
Yeah.
If I was answering emails for her at home, booking flights for her, whatever. So it's kind of just like, and then at NFR, I basically was a manager because I was the only, I had all of the contacts for like, if someone needed something, she sang the national anthem at the NFR last year and did a lot of CMC came and followed us around for a day. And like, I was the contact person, like if they,
So fun. So are you using your own personal email when they're reaching out to you, or do you have like an email through her company, or does she just forward you contacts and is like, don't talk to me, this is my person, contact my person?
both. They have my phone number.
Got it.
They get my phone number. It's a lot like toward energy now. Um, I'm the contact person. So you have a contract.
Nice.
I'm the contact person. It has my email and my phone number. But back then it was just like a lot more loose. And
Got it.
so it was more so like Jenna didn't have to handle any of it. I did. Like I get to be the mean person or, like we need to be here or I'm so sorry, we need to go. Like we have another thing to get to. He
Nice.
doesn't
Yeah.
do that. And so again, it's just evolved over time. We've gotten a lot more structured.
Mhm.
That's kind of like what we had to talk with because I think I was like, I don't even know what I do, Jenna. Like, like we need to like sit down and like have an idea of like the roles that we play in this.
Yeah, for sure. Get it in writing, outline it.
Yeah. And we still don't have that, but kind of
Yeah, yeah.
management team does. But since having that talk and just over the years of figuring out a thing like a strategy and a schedule that works for us, um, I still do all three things. Like I still help her with all her promos, all her shoots. I still work from home as her assistant and then I go on the road with her. So
Amazing.
I'm sure as she gets bigger, that might change. a little bit, but I'm sure I'll still be involved on all of those things somehow.
Yeah.
Just because, especially as an artist, like a music artist, especially, you have to have people on your team that you trust and
Mm.
people that not only see your vision and understand your vision, but
Mhm.
would trust to do it the way you would do it is really hard. I think that's the same in any business. Like that's why you have interns, right? You
Yeah.
you teach them the way that you do it.
Mhm.
You value their input, but like you need to be able to trust them to do it how you would do it when you're not there. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I am for Jenna. And so it's um really sweet. Like she's hosting my baby shower in August. And
Oh,
so,
fun.
like we have that cute friendship, but we work well together. And I think that that's really hard to find.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it fills your cup and you love it and it makes you excited to do your job, and that's important.
Yeah, I love my job now. It's getting harder the more pregnant I get.
Yeah.
I was on the road for almost 2 weeks straight this month. And so that was tough, but it's so rewarding and fulfilling and fun that I don't even, but it doesn't bother me. So
Yeah. And how does Kent deal with you being away?
people ask that all the time. We've
Yeah.
always really been really good at, we did long distance every summer in college.
Wow.
Because he would come back here and work. And then we did long distance for a year before we got married. And so,
Yeah.
but we're not like that couple that calls each other every night. We won't really text. Um,
You're busy, girl.
we're busy.
Yeah.
Like we had to sleep. He gets up early. I'm sleeping in. Like
Yeah.
so, like it's just like a cute check in. Like miss you. Like is everything okay? How did the show go? Or I'll call him at like 2 a.m. Hey, I made it home.
Yeah.
Getting on my flight now. Things like that.
Nice.
The more pregnant I get, like Kent's gone right now, actually on
Mhm.
a fishing trip with his brothers and dad.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yeah, great for him, but I have been so sad. Like this
Oh,
my personality, which is so funny. Like I am not
yeah.
clingy needy. I want you by me all the time. Like when are you,
You've got different hormones now, girl.
yeah, like I like when are you coming home? Like touching him all night while I sleep, like just
Cuddle.
yeah. And I have been that girl for like the last 4 months.
Oh
And
my gosh.
this is the first time I'm home and like not working. I'm getting a taste of my own medicine for sure. Because it's
Oh,
usually the other way around. Like Kent's usually here and I'm usually gone.
yeah.
Now he's gone and I'm here and I'm texting him like, come home. Like, where are you? Like, I miss you. Like, baby misses you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are pregnant. He's like,
I love it.
you're so nice, pregnant. I'm like, I know. So nice and clingy and needy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So, with this baby coming and with like the changes that are coming in your life, what does the next year look like for you? I know you said you're not a huge planner, but you do roll with the punches. Like, how do you envision this next year going?
Gosh, I I am excited and very terrified all at the same time. Um, I'm working with Jenna on tour and stuff, and I would be traveling up until I can't. Uh,
Yeah.
and in the midst of that, we're, you know, getting the nursery ready and like getting ready to like welcome a little tiny human in the world.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see Jenna slowing down at all. If anything, she's just getting bigger. Um, and that's really exciting and really terrifying all at the same time because I keep saying that. Maybe that's
Yeah, you do. That should be the title of this podcast. Really exciting and really terrifying.
well, because I didn't expect us to be going on tour like we'd always imagined and me be 5 months pregnant. You know,
Mm,
we also didn't expect to have a baby on the bus, like her baby on the bus with us. And so
yeah.
we're learning how to adapt and, as women and moms and business women. And it, I think that I cried the other day because she has some really big stuff coming up in August and September, and I can't be there. And like,
Oh.
well, I've never had to say no. I've
Mhm.
never had to be like, no, I gotta set back and take a break because I can't fly. Um, and I'll be giving birth. So,
Literally.
um, and then, I have a few months or whatever after that.
Yeah, are you taking a maternity leave? Have you figured out how many months you're giving yourself, or what does that look like? Is family coming to town to help, or what is that gonna be like?
I am. I have a really big family on my in-law side, and they're all very excited. I have 10 nieces and nephews, or 8 nieces and nephews, and they are very excited for their little cousin.
Sure,
They
I'm
will be
sure.
the day that it pops out for sure. And I'm lucky enough to live right down the road from my in-laws, which don't think I would have ever said that in the past, but now I'm like, thank God. Um, I do plan to take leave.
Good for you, you have to.
I just go crazy not doing anything. Um,
You'll be doing stuff, mama.
uh,
You'll be doing stuff.
but we are planning to go to Vegas for NFR, for work, not for fun.
When is that? Like, because you said you're doing September. When is NFR?
It'll be December, so they'll be
Okay,
4 months.
that's good.
And Kent's gonna go with me this time, and so he'll be like little Mr. Mom for a week.
So baby's coming to Vegas too.
Baby's coming to Vegas.
Okay.
Uh, this is the plan. Like,
This is the plan.
the plan. We don't know, but
Yeah.
um,
Put it in God's hands. It's the best place for it to be.
4 months, old enough to travel. We'll kind of have a routine down, and I think traveling for the first time with the baby will be easier to do it together.
Oh,
Not as overwhelming and scary. And then I expect next year to just be wild, like on the road all the time. And baby will come or stay with dad and ranch. Uh,
yeah.
so it's kind of fun. We live an unconventional lifestyle, but I love the fact that he'll be at home ranching with dad, and
Yeah.
when I'm here, and the rest of their family, and living like that really slow paced, have a garden, go get their veggies from the garden to help mom cook dinner kind of life. But
Yeah.
so they're on the road and they're going to like New York City and Chicago and they're meeting all these.
Wait, have you been to New York City?
No, we're
Okay,
going.
because I haven't either, and I might be going soon. And I am like, what is safe? What do I wear? Like, I want to blend in, but I don't want to stand out. Like, I have so many thoughts. I'll have to text you.
I'm so jealous. I want to go so.
Well, it's not 100% yet. It might fall through, but
I am going to Chicago in June with Jenna. She has a show, and I'm very excited for that. I've never been
yeah.
there, so
I've been to Chicago, and like I said, I've never been to New York City, but when I went to Chicago, I was like, oh, this is what New York feels like all these big buildings, all this like steam coming up from the streets, some smells. I'm like, this is the big city.
I love ranch life. I do, but I'm also like I love the vibe of a big city, and so I'm excited that my kids are going to be able to experience both of those things. Especially
Yes.
they're gonna be a little isolated out here, which we like, but
Mhm.
Um, if they're anything like their mom, like they're gonna need a little bit of worldliness. And I think it's important for kids to have both. And so I'm just excited that they're gonna be around all different kinds of kinds and learn about life in different ways. Like they'll learn stuff out here and they'll learn stuff out there. So
Totally.
yeah. I don't
That's fun.
man, I don't know. Where's
And whatever happens, that is best for you and your family. Like, it is so easy to make those decisions when you meet the little one and you figure out their personality, their temperament, their sleep schedule, their style of living, and how you and Kent become parents. And it's gonna be so different, but so beautiful. My heart grew more than I knew was possible when I had my son, and your life does change, but I think changes for the better. And
yeah.
you're going to be such a great mama, and that baby's already so lucky to have you.
Thanks. I think that it's important, and I know it's easier said than done. And I'm speaking as someone who does not have a kid yet, but I just want to make sure that like both Kent and I, not just myself, we keep ourselves to. I don't want to just be a mom, even though I'm excited to be a mom. I want to that to be part of my identity, not my whole identity. And so that's really hard. I know it's really hard. I've talked to a lot of women and that's really hard. But um that is one of my goals. I want my son or daughter to like be able to see that I'm living my dreams and fulfilling my goals too, because they can do that also. And it doesn't matter where you live or what you do. Like you can come from itty bitty Rock Springs, Texas, and still go and do whatever you want and
Yeah,
figure it out. And so I took the hard way there, the roundabout way. And so
you did great.
for them to take the easier way, maybe. And just, I didn't have parents that told me that I could be both. And so I
Mm,
want them to see that.
so true. So good. Well, you're a beautiful example for sure.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that was a lot of great information. I literally don't think we have to go over anything else. We've been chatting for over an hour, and I know you have stuff to do today. So thank you for making time in your schedule to chat and just reconnect and catch up. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I had so much fun.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys, thank you for listening to Maddie's story. Be sure to follow her on Instagram. What is your Instagram handle? Is it at Maddie? Is there an underscore?
It's Madi McCall underscore at the end.
At the end. Okay, that's what I thought.
Drives me nuts, so but there's another Madi McCall out there.
Oh, there
It's
is.
a summer. So
Does she use it actively?
no.
Oh.
No. I'm like, oh, it drives me nuts. Like, go away.
Have you tried messaging her and be like, can I buy this account from you?
No. I'm like, can you have the underscore? And I'll just not.
Yeah. Okay, Maddie McCall underscore on Instagram. Follow Maddie for all the things fashion, music, and motherhood coming up. She has so many fun things in her life. And I know you, I love following along. And I think anyone who listens, you should, if you don't already, you should definitely go follow her. Thanks so much for listening to the Details Podcast by The Heartland. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow along on Instagram at The Details Pod, subscribe on YouTube, and leave us a review. Turn on your notifications to hear new episodes every Monday. See you next week. Bye.